Hello, Michael Mandeville of Creative Explorer here. I'm actually just making a little video here about something that intrigued me when writing my novel. I am currently working on that, starting from a pilot or for a TV show, and then I expanded into a broader treatment, and now I'm actually converting that treatment into a novel. One thing I like to do sometimes when I'm actually faced with some quick creative energy is to come in and springboard from research right back into the creativity. So I'm currently working in Scrivener. Let me show you that, which is how I'm organizing the treatment and the episodes. I can go more into that in another video, but right now I've essentially got it laid out with acts 1, 2, and 3, and each broken down by episodes, and each of those episodes broken down into different sections: teaser, act 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a cliffhanger. So that's the essential structure that I use per episode. Right now I'm working with a French espionage agent, and I want to give him a little background on this character who he was surveilling. The guy was from Cyprus. He's more of kind of a middleman, not really a intelligence player, but somebody who sells retail or wholesale information, arms, that sort of thing. And he's based out of Cyprus. So what I did is I came up with the notion of a good search term. Start with a good search term. And I call it right here, Cyprus, Playground of Spies. So I got a number of hits on that, and I think that might be very helpful and playful. I also, in Scrivener, have the ability to actually go down here, and there we go. I can actually go down here and create a little research folder and everything about it. I cut and pasted my search terms in there. And I'm actually going to go and take a look at that. So we have Cyprus, a familiar stopover in spy lore. I like that one. So I'm going to save that so I can get 3 or 4 different kinds of links here and put them down. I can go back to them, of course. So this is kind of different photos about the parade of merchants. So a parade of foreigners who trod on Cypriot shores is long and ancient. Kings, sages, crusaders, merchants, tourists, Hittites, Assyrians, Romans, Venetians, Britons, and Turks. So I actually like that as kind of something to work with. I'm going to put that right down here. And we have a little more modern context of what they could do. So I'm able to take that. And the nice part about this history build-up is you also get a little sense of the tone, which I personally like to concentrate on, a feeling of what you're getting across here in your particular novel or treatment. And the more you know about it, I think the more you can connect the dots. It's like having a piece of fabric that you could kind of weave together. So I'm going to find about 5 or 6 of these and then start up once again. So one thing I like to do in Scrivener is to actually create these little folders here about Cyprus, and then what I do is create 3 documents, and at the very top I will find something of interest. Russian spy ring suspect jumps bail in Cyprus. So I have a Russian in my story. He's kind of a mysterious fellow, and I will cut and paste the URL to the very top here in the document. So now I know where I can go back and look. And then what I'll do, sometimes, it depends, if I find little pieces that kind of trigger a little creative thought in my brain, I will just save those pieces. Sometimes I will actually grab the entire article and see what I can do with that by finding more distinct elements within the article that intrigue me. So right now I just want to grab the headline right here, Russian spy ring suspect jumps bail in Cyprus, and I did that, and I just cut and pasted in here. And sometimes if I can, I will also save a photograph if it's pretty good. And then I just start to grab the rest of the article and kind of lay it in. And the neat part about kind of having it in control in my program in Scrivener, because it's such a really good research building tool. It can be very complex, but it's a great investment at 49 bucks, Scrivener. So I've laid those in, and now I have some background in Cypress here, and I like to put in a little title so that I can readily access it. But it kind of allows me to build up some aspect of a character really well. So I'm going to give those a read. Because I'm really adding a lot of flavor here in the thought process of the active character, his name is Deskar, at least that's what I call him right now. And when I go there, he is someone who has to think back on this operation and see if he can pull some strings. So I wanted to give a little thought process about Cypress for him, because he knows this other character who actually started the whole plot at this hotel. So right here, what I'm going to be doing is looking at these documents. And when I look at the Russian spy ring suspect jumps bail in Cyprus, a couple words, see what kind of catches my eye. Now right over here is where I have Scrivener. So I can actually add it right here into Scrivener as I cut and paste from the article here. And things that catch my eye right now are, let's see, alleged paymaster of a deep cover spy. So I like that. I'm going to put that over here. I kind of like playing with that one. Let's see. Officers were acting on an Interpol red notice before he was going to board a plane to Budapest. That's kind of has an exotic sound to it. He was traveling on a Canadian passport. His hotel in Larnaca. So there, that gives me some real definition about it. Depth to Descar's remembrance. And let's see, strategic island. So it talks about Nicosia and the fact that it's a strategic island for Russia, the Cold War, etc. And it also connects this person to Russian spy Anna Chapman, who was well known and was sent back to Russia in an exchange of spies at one point. So I got about 3 or 4 things out of this article, and when I go back up to the other one here, one thing that caught my eye was the use of British bases have huge eavesdropping facilities on the island, while Cyprus has a reputation for being a playground for spooks doing business on neutral territory. So I kind of like that. I'm going to save that one. And let's see. Let's see, 9 million. Police are still examining. Let's see. Espionage theories went into overdrive after police confiscated an Israeli van reportedly loaded with high-tech surveillance gear. Media reports claim the vehicle is being hired to spy on people. And the van has $9 million worth of spy capabilities. So that's pretty good. It's a $9 million van with the price of gas. Maybe it's not far behind. And so anyways, I've got a number of those, and I might just take a look at this one here, which goes back to the Larnaca waterfront. We just saw that. The Spy Cafe serves iced coffee and cocktails to customers in sunglasses. So they actually kind of have a little pop culture play to it. That's kind of strange that they know about that. But I may just actually put that in because that's kind of funny. And let's see, we have a couple other things here. The Gaza flotilla gathered at Cyprus was boarded by Israeli commandos. I think I remember that incident. I'm going to put that in. Not sure if I'll use it or not. And so, interestingly, let's see. I've got a little quote at the bottom I might use. Okay, so now I've got a little mix of material here to add some flavor to my spy, thinking about his contact in Cyprus. I'm going to come up with something and then we're going to review that. So right here we can see what I came up with, what I did. And you could download it. Is I have the before where I grabbed the research and then came up with a paragraph here for the novel. So I also stumbled upon something else, which is called British Forces Cyprus. They still have bases there. So I thought, okay, that's kind of interesting. I could look that up. So they have a couple bases. You could see where they are, and it's called British Forces Cyprus. It's also a big eavesdropping station, I think. So that added a little piece. So when I go in and see what I actually wrote, I have it starting kind of right here. This is where I left off. He had been able to do some research on this Thomas check name, that's a placeholder, quickly discovering that it is true. As far as he knew, roots and experience lay in the eastern Mediterranean corridor, centering on Cyprus. So that gives me real focus on the subject for the paragraph. And I talked about how he trailed him, about how he worked with the Russian spy ring when it blew up. I went from 83 to 93 on that. The Russian paymaster fled, possibly Kirov. Actually, I have to take that out on there about a plane to Budapest, which was in there with Interpol police and a red notice. It was a hub for espionage of all types, smuggling, etc. Strategically located for people who don't know about it. And there's the part about the British forces, Cyprus. And that they have a signals unit, which means espionage. So I was able to put in a couple pieces there about the local police finding a $9 million Israeli intelligence van, and about this character Thomas, and what he does is sell information. So that this guy has a bead on him and who he is and his character. So I kind of like that, and it turned out well. And then I left it hanging with this character Kirov, who gives an ominous feel to everything. As the Russians working there in Cyprus kind of vibe. And anyways, you could look at the before and after, what I started with and what I ended with, and I call this a bit of springboarding from research into creativity, and I hope you've enjoyed the video and can use the technique. Have a great day.